one YouTube video. That's it. Just want to say, all these people that say they follow Jesus are going to only follow Jesus until he takes you somewhere you don't want to go. You're only going to listen to Jesus until he tells you something you don't want to hear. And you're only going to go see what he shows you until he shows you something you don't want to see. In other words, when Jesus is teaching you about other people, you're willing to listen. But when he's teaching you about yourself, you don't want to listen, especially when it's something you know you've been messing up on that you don't want to hear about. He tries to show you something about life that needs to get fixed. Unless it's something you're able to do, you don't want to see it. You don't want to go there. And he's trying to tell you something to help you better yourself. And you know you don't want to better yourself, you don't want to hear it. That's why I say a lot of people claim they follow Jesus, but how much following of Jesus do you actually do? Because to follow Jesus, it means, and I quote, you might have to sacrifice a lot for people who don't care nothing about you. You might have to forgive your enemies who will never forgive you. You might have to love your neighbors who hate you. You might have to forgive your neighbors who probably will never forgive you. You might have to give money to people who need it and you might not have none. Do things for people without boasting about it and wanting everyone to know that you did it. Because here's the thing people don't really seem to understand. Jesus never wore a suit, never had slick back hair, never probably smelled the best, probably didn't look the best, but he hung with those who he knew had good hearts, but they were in very messed up lifestyles. You know, like pimps, prostitutes, drug addicts, streetwalkers, gangsters, all that stuff. Something people in church wouldn't dare to do unless they got praised for it. Just want to say this as well for all those people that think God wants you to bow down to him. No, he doesn't. God wants you to react to him the way you truly feel, not the way the church tells you the way you feel. So I'm just putting it out there. Because even Jesus knows there's a lot of people that claim they follow him, but until he takes you somewhere you don't want to go, tells you something you don't want to hear, or shows you something you don't want to see, especially when it's about yourself. Because here's the thing with God. He's never going to tell you to teach anyone else anything else until you learn about yourself, until he teaches you about yourself, until he helps you fix yourself. Like the Bible tells you, the blind cannot lead the blind unless they're falling in a ditch. And there are a lot of people, as far as pastors and church members and religious people go, who get a certain position and forget where they came from. Their head gets so big from being put above people and they can tell them what to do that they forget they're still human themselves. And this whole thing with older people wanting to be called yes ma'am, yes sir, no ma'am, no sir. Y'all said y'all don't want to be called old and y'all don't want to be made to feel old, so why would you want to be called ma'am and sir? That stuff makes you look and feel old. But I'm just saying, I'm out.